Hey, I'm Brian. Welcome back to the Disturbing Illusion channel. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with politics, but I think it's pretty cool that a $4 billion, 1,776 foot tall building can sustain this kind of lightning strike. And just a quick reminder, according to court filings, that the World Trade Center properties and other entities affiliated with Larry Silverstein collected about $4.1 billion from insurers. Let's just say it was a profitable day for some people.
Bingo.
Now I want to show you how mentally cooked some people can get when they've consciously chosen to become a part of the cult of personality.
You think that Trump is actually still in power right now?
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
So you think Biden is not the current president right now?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir. Never believed it.
So Trump is the current president right now?
Yes, sir.
So are you mad at Trump for the high gas prices?
No. It's not Trump's fault.
Whose fault is it then?
It's Joe. He's got to set all this.
But Joe
up.
Biden, where's Joe Biden? He said he's not president.
He's not the president.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is,
So how could the gas prices be his fault if he's not president?
what you don't understand what they're trying to do. They have
Okay.
to wake up the dingleberries that are still asleep.
Okay.
If this isn't a classic case of cognitive dissonance, I don't know what is. The guy holding the microphone is in the tank for Biden. The guy being interviewed is in the tank for Trump. And both of them, to one degree or another, exhibit signs of political insanity. People on both sides still blaming presidential puppets for high gas prices and miserable living conditions still don't understand who has a firm hold of the levers of power. Now some insanity from people on the left. Let me show you something
Let me show you something
that is very important.
that is very important.
And the best ad
And the best ad
of the Biden campaign
of the Biden campaign
by far.
by far. Let's watch. Every word of this is true. All of it has been reported. And the sources for it are the generals who Donald Trump said these things in front of when he desecrated the memories of the fallen, when he desecrated the history and the honor of the armed forces of the United States as commander-in-chief. The men he did it in front of, career soldiers and sailors, airmen and Marines, were aghast, were appalled.
This guy's obviously a leftist who wants you to be outraged that Donald Trump acts like a politician. Do I know if Donnie said this? No. Would I be surprised if I found out he did? No. What I do know is that neither Joey nor Donnie nor the military-industrial complex is on your side. Then we got this proud Democrat from Tennessee who believes that Biden must win at all costs, and he's surprised that Donald Trump won't directly answer a simple question.
One of my biggest pet peeves about Donald Trump is the fact that he never actually answers a question. Right here he's asked point blank, are you pro-choice or are you pro-life?
For the last few decades, Mr. President, you have both considered yourself pro-choice and pro-life. Which one is it?
Well, you know exactly which one it is. And when I was in New York and when I was a Democrat also, just like Ronald Reagan, Ronald Reagan was a Democrat. We sort of followed a very similar path. But if you look at what we've done with Roe v. Wade, we did something that everyone said couldn't be done, and we got it done. And I give great credit to the Supreme Court and the justices for having the courage to do it. What they did is very simply give it back to the state. And I'll tell you, the Democrats are the radicals on this because they're willing to have abortions in the 7th, 8th, 9th month.
So can someone please tell me, what does him once upon a time being a Democrat and now he's a Republican, what does that have to do with the question of are you pro-choice or are you pro-life?
It's 2024. How is anybody surprised that politicians don't directly answer direct questions? I mean, do you remember how Biden responded when a factory worker questioned him about trampling his Second Amendment rights?
About how you intend on getting the union vote when there's a large portion of the union workers that are gun enthusiasts, and you are actively trying to diminish your Second Amendment right and take away our guns.
You're full of
All right, thank you.
No, shush. You're not allowed to own any weapon. I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds.
So when you were in Beto, when you said you're going to take our guns,
I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that.
It's a viral video. Okay, this is not okay.
Hold on.
All right.
Hey, let's
Don't tell me
there's
anything. I want to go outside.
a lot of guys.
Hey, you're
a lot of guys
working for
wanted.
me, man.
I'm not working.
Hold
on.
So much.
Give me a break, man. Don't be such a
You're
worry.
switching up on me.
Hey, there's a lot of.
So he didn't say he wanted to ban certain guns from the hands of innocent gun owners?
To gun owners out there who say, well, a Biden administration means they're going to come for my guns.
Bingo. You're right if you have an assault weapon. The fact of the matter is they should be illegal, period.
Not only does Biden want what he calls an assault weapons ban, he also wants to ban some handguns.
Guns. I'm the only guy that ever got passed legislation when I was a senator to make sure we eliminated assault weapons. The idea you need a weapon that can have the ability to fire 20, 30, 40, 50, 120 shots from that weapon, whether it's a 9mm pistol or whether it's a rifle, is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous? Let me remind you. In 2008, the Taj Hotel was attacked by terrorists. I bet at the time, this chef and his guests would have loved to have had access to 120 rounds and the firearm capable of launching those rounds.
Some of my friends had got injured that time. I managed to hide in my kitchen, that's the chambers. But maybe I was not hidden so well because I was found out by the terrorists. They got me out. Me along with two more guests, we were made to stand in a line and we were shot point blank. Unfortunately, the two guests didn't make it.
But out-of-touch politicians like Biden, who are daily surrounded by trained men and their arsenals, smugly says this.
The guys who make these arguments are the people who say the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots. We need the protection against the government. We need an F-15 for that. You need something well beyond whether or not you're going to have an assault weapon.
There is something I strongly agree with this Democrat about. The drug war was bogus and people shouldn't be in jail for it.
I want to play this next clip because I would love to talk to people in my part of the world about it.
I'm keeping my promises that no one should be in jail merely for using and possessing marijuana. I pardoned thousands of people incarcerated for mere possession of marijuana. Thousands.
President Biden has pardoned thousands of people for marijuana offenses. And what I want to talk about is the fact that I know a whole lot of good old boys in my part of the world who loves their weed. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say it out loud. And over the years, I've heard them sit and talk about how it was bullshit that people got arrested for marijuana and how that, marijuana grows naturally on this planet. It's part of our culture. It's part of our heritage. I've heard all the arguments for why it should be legal and all the arguments for why that people shouldn't go to prison for it. But yet when Joe Biden pardons thousands of people for marijuana offenses, all I hear from the good old boys is nothing but crickets. And then when I see Donald Trump stand up and say he wants to give the death penalty to drug dealers, they all pump their fist and salute that.
There's no doubt that the war on drugs is a war on people. But this clip that he just played from Biden shows just how hypocritical Joe Biden really is. A lot of innocent people went to jail under Biden's 1994 crime bill. And you don't get to claim credit for freeing people that you were responsible for jailing. Besides, both Biden and Trump continue to prop up the failed drug war to this day. They're both in bed on this same issue, and people like this just can't see it. Why? Because they're steeped in the cult of personality.
Bingo.
Speaking of Donald Trump, has anybody seen this latest ridiculous ad? And I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up. This is really an ad that comes from Donald Trump, and people are buying it.
This $2 bill features President Trump's mugshot. Donald J. Trump makes history once again by becoming the first former president of the United States to ever be criminally indicted. The powers that be have made good on their threats to get him by indicting him 4 times. On Thursday, August 24th, 2023, President Trump was formally arraigned in Fulton County, Georgia, and this moment in history created the first mugshot of a United States president. In the photo, President Trump displays a furrowed brow and a determined gaze, showing he's ready to fight. He says he will never surrender. Whether or not you are a supporter of the 45th president, there's no doubting the historic importance of this photo. That's why National Collectors Mint has taken crisp, uncirculated U.S. legal tender $2 bills direct from sealed treasury packs, then enhanced them to commemorate this event. The mugshot seen round the world is front and center in the portrait oval, flanked by images of the flag and President Trump's famous signature. His inmate number is inscribed below the photo, and his declaration, "Never Surrender," is boldly presented on the bill. The final issue price was to be set at $39. However, during this special release, this full-color commemorative $2 bill can be yours for only $19.95, protected by our 60-day money-back guarantee. Each full-color bill comes complete with a certificate of authenticity in a collector's portfolio for preservation and protection. There is a strict limit of 5 bills per caller. First come, first served, so earliest orders receive priority over later ones. So hurry, don't delay. Now you can reserve your own colorized Trump mugshot $2 bill. Avoid disappointment and future regret. Call now.
Call 1-800-250-5167. That's 1-800-250-5167. Strict limit of 5 bills per caller. So call 1-800-250-5167.
Did you catch the name under Trump's signature? Steve Mnuchin, Goldman Sachs insider and Trump-appointed Treasury Secretary. So much for draining the swamp. By the way, did you see the drastic about face from Joe Scarborough on the Morning Joe? Let me just remind you, immediately after Biden's debate debacle, this was Joe's reaction.
I fear Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States unless things change.
President Biden let every fastball hanging out over the plate go right by for a strike for Donald Trump. So that was an indication that he was just not up to it last night.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. That I agree with everything you said, except for the last part of it. Everybody calm down, and I'll tell you why. I mean, it's fine to not spin what happened last night, and we're not going to. Again,
by the way,
he had a terrible night.
Mika, everybo's calm here. You're the only one raising your voice. Everybody is calm here.
But again, it's the let's just immediately pull this. Let's end this. Let's find someone else.
Apparently, Joe got a talking to, and now he's singing a different tune.
And it is so interesting that after the debate, everybody was in meltdown mode, including the campaign. It reminded me of Access Hollywood when everybody said, including Mike Lee, I would never support such a man or let anybody talk to my wife, or, the guy that's, at the front of the National Front carrying that flag. But we heard it was over then. I must say, on that phone all day yesterday, I was hearing just the opposite.
Scarborough even goes so far as to say that Biden is now in an enviable, advantageous position because he can say that he's fighting against the elites. But before I play this clip, remember what Mika said right after the debate?
It's fine to not spin what happened last night, and we're not going to.
Oh, you're not going to spin it? Then what do you call this?
But Joe Biden now has what I would dream of having if I were running for president of the United States in his position. Joe Biden now can say he's having to fight media elites, New York Times editorial page, billionaire donors. They've been on the phone for a week and a half. Washington politicians, even though Mark Warner has now canceled his meeting. And the Congressional Black Caucus, by the way, not really happy with all of these people trying to substitute their elitist viewpoints for that of millions of Democratic primary voters. Joe Biden has a fired up, angry Democratic base in parts, and he's got a lot of elites putting him in a position where he can look strong, staring them down.
Yeah, we believe you, Joe. Biden's not an elite. He's too busy staring down the elites. And while we're talking about mainstream spin,
it's fine to not spin what happened last night, and we're not going to.
I'd be derelict in my duty if I didn't remind you, remember Mika's Freudian slip when she said that it's their job to control exactly what people think? And Joe agreed?
He could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah. Bingo.
Well, that's today's Left versus Right Dog and Pony Show under the Big Top Wrap Up. I'm Brian Young. This is The Disturbing Illusion. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share these videos wherever you can because we got to wake up a massive amount of people from their political stupor. If you want to help the channel, watch some of the videos that you probably missed because they're still very much in play, and I will see you in the next video.